Hello, 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 everybody. My name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the Business Plug. You have just tuned into the Business Plugs Mixer. Each Sunday, 7 p.m. ish Eastern Time, I come on and have business conversations with business people for business people. So go ahead and like wherever you're viewing this. If you're on LinkedIn, go ahead and hit the bell so you can get the notifications of when we are on. Sometimes we actually come on in the through the week when we have special appearances. So go ahead and hit the notification button on LinkedIn, the notification bell. Go ahead and share, share, share. Tell your friends. We're going to talk about change management today. I'm so excited. This is a great topic. She's a great person. You're going to get to meet my new friend, my Cornell University sister. You're going to get to meet her. She's going to tell you some things, and we're going to lean in. And these change management things can be applied in business, but they can also be applied in our everyday lives. So we're going to have a great conversation about that. Before I get there, if you are wanting to learn how to get ready to get government contracting, you are interested in getting in that field, the government contracting, so you can have more recurrent income and start expanding and growing your business. On February the 8th, I am hosting a GovCon Prep webinar. And I say it's a webinar, but it's more like a workshop because I want you to bring your laptop. We're going to actually get you registered and get some things done. So I have a checklist of things to do. We're going to get people registered, get them ready to get these contracts so we can stop chasing customers and start getting money in our businesses that we can use. So those two things, if you're ready for that, then the second thing is that if you are needing support, if you need support in your business, especially if you're an LLC, I'm helping LLCs become compliant. Like, I cannot believe people have had LLCs for years and they don't have one set of minutes. They don't have an annual meeting. They don't have corporate papers. Like, yeah. So I'm helping LLCs get compliant. So if that interests you, that link is also where you're watching this. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to introduce you to my guest, my new friend, Felicia Ford. So come on in, Felicia. Hello.
Hi, Linda.
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. So, first of all, thank you for pouring into my students in the Urban League last night, the Chattanooga Urban League, the Greater, wait a minute, I always get the name wrong. This is what I do. So, the Urban League of Greater Chattanooga's students, you helped us last night in level one. And so, I do appreciate that.
Oh, I had an amazing time with them. Thank you for inviting me in and allowing me to bring back some of my old skills of teaching. It was so much fun. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that. But yeah, so today we're talking about a similar thing. Today we're talking about change management in business. So tell us about why this is important.
Well, anyone who's been in business, leading it anyway, will know that, change is inevitable. I remember even my very first change management class back in grad school. That might have been in the first paragraph of the book that we had to read, but change is inevitable.
It is.
And from the academic perspective, there's, core components of change management that is taught, but when you're operating in your business day to day, you don't really have time to go
Mm,
and, flip through and say, oh, is this what's happening? So being prepared and aware of having a structured process for how you are going to prepare proactively for change instead of reactively
absolutely.
is really the concept of change management. It's knowing what to do, how to lead, what resources to bring in, when to bring them in, and how to guide your people and your business through the next level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't you think all of that starts with mindset?
Oh, absolutely. As I shared last night, something that I didn't really get into, but I look at three things. Number one, when we start a business, we're really dependent on other people, other resources, or even if we're leveling up in our businesses, we're dependent on who knows what exists on that next level. But
Absolutely.
then we need to transition to independence, right? When we're
Yeah.
taking ownership for what we're doing. And that right there is that first mindset shift is, okay, I'm taking ownership of my journey. I'm taking ownership of where I want to go. I'm taking
Mm,
ownership of my inputs, right? Before we get to the outcome, what am I doing to get what I said that I wanted? And then the mindset shift of interdependence and really connecting with others and collaborating and leveraging relationships. But it is
absolutely.
definitely all about the mindset of, you know, we're pivoting, but we're not failing. We're
Yeah,
simply changing directions.
absolutely. Redirection is always good, right?
Right.
I I read a book called Not the How but the Who.
Mm.
Not who but how. Not the how but who. I'll get it right in a minute. It's not how but who. And it
Mm.
talks about who do we need, right? And it helps us to identify who we need in like every aspect of our lives, not just our
Right.
businesses, but who do we need?
Right.
Because a lot of times we try to deal with it ourselves, and
Hmm.
in this uncertain time where people are kind of antsy or having emotions one way or another, it's a great time. The who may be a therapist, right?
Very true.
I believe in Jesus and therapy.
Absolutely.
so
As do I. You have my vote.
so a lot of times, getting somebody, a third party, to help you work through it, a second party in some cases, but somebody that you can talk to and make an exchange with that is objective and can give you decent advice would be
Hmm.
important during this time.
Right.
If you're one of those people who are trying to figure it out, the next steps. I've heard so many messages of uncertainty in the last few days that I am very, very aware that business has changed.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
It has
business has changed.
changed. It has changed. And even if we just looking at, social media and as you
Mhm.
said, listening to the community, people are afraid, people are scared, people
Yeah,
are anxious, people are mad, and rightfully so. Whatever emotion they're feeling is certainly valid, right?
absolutely. I agree with that.
Um, but as leaders, we have a different set of eyes. We have a different perspective. Our vision is different when it comes to navigating situations like this. And, some people, depending on their leadership style, will simply jump into like, okay, this is what we're doing. Others may be standing on the watchtower, watching and praying, and then giving advice as to the strategy
Yeah,
that we will move in instead of let's take action.
yeah,
So yeah, it's really I would say dependent on what your leadership style is and how you navigate change personally.
absolutely, absolutely. Because that's important. Because I was just teaching some business owners the other day about the four, prominent characters, skill sets you need on a team. And one of my students was like, I'm not really a visionary, but I kind of am. And I'm like, well, you have to know who you are to thy own self be true. You have to
Hmm.
know who you are so that way you know who you need on your team.
Right. Right.
And so, yeah, so that whole again, that whole mindset thing.
Right. Right. And Linda, I would say in my experience of working with different ages, ethnicities, social classes, the person who handles change the best is
Mm,
the person that's self-aware,
mm,
or has some level of self-awareness and emotional intelligence.
yeah,
And that person isn't always the smartest intellectually,
it's
isn't
not about smart.
always right. They're not always the wealthiest.
Yeah,
They may not even be the most experienced in a particular skill set, but they are self-aware. They are aware of how they regulate their nervous system and how they will communicate to others. I need a moment, you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah,
or or
Let me collect myself.
right, right,
And sometimes that's said out loud, and sometimes it's just said in our heads.
right, 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 right. But mindset, that trumps skill set any day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. I agree. Because that's the thing that gets overlooked a lot, right? I posted a post yesterday that said the hardest lesson to absorb is learning that your mindset has been the blockage in your success your
Mm,
entire life.
mm, yeah. I mean, we talked about that last night, right? About
Yeah.
the difference between a CEO mindset and an employee mindset. And then I created this tool, the business owner's circle of control. And
Hmm.
so within that circle are the things that I can control. I can control my attitude.
Yeah.
I can control my habits.
Yes.
I can control my outputs.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot control economic downturn or upturn. I cannot control the administration and the executive orders. I can't control any of that. But I can control Felicia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
It's like always, right?
Right.
Because
Right.
the this too shall pass,
Mhm.
as all the things prior to this have
Mhm.
passed.
Mhm.
And so realizing that we are 100% survivors of
Mhm.
whatever life threw at us.
Right. Right.
I said we are all in the same storm. We're just in different boats. Some are
Right.
in yachts, some are in rowboats, some are in little canoes. you know,
Right.
we're all in different, but we're in the same storm. And
Right.
the thing about it is, we have to manage the boat we're in.
That's it. That's it. And it's not about toxic positivity. It's,
No, 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 no.
a dose of realism and a dose of optimism and a whole lot of faith.
Whole lot
And whole lot of faith, or even just a little bit, right?
of the
Uh,
mustard seed. Absolutely.
right. But again, like you said, it is the perspective that you choose to have. It's, are we going to look at this challenge as an opportunity, or are we going to sit back and position ourselves as a victim? We don't have to do that.
No,
We have a
because
choice.
we do have a choice. And the thing about that, Felicia, when you look at when the places where you've grown the most, it's always been under pressure.
Mhm. Always.
It's always
Always.
been under pressure. Like
Always.
your the trials of life come to make us stronger.
Right. Right. And Sarah Jakes Roberts said this
Mhm.
today. I'm not going to get it right, but she said something to the effect of challenge does not necessarily mean bad,
Yeah,
right? She said
yeah.
that growth can come from pain. Growth can come from, well, growth usually comes from pain. It's usually not
It's not,
a
yeah.
pleasant experience.
And the thing about it is, in those times of challenge, you find out what you're made of.
Right.
Because if you never had the challenges, you'd never know what you were made of. You'd
Mhm.
never know where your point is.
Mhm. Mhm. And it goes back to how are you reacting? Are you reacting the
Exactly.
same? Are you reacting the same way you did when you encountered a problem 10 years ago? Where has
Mm,
that gotten you? Have you risen above your reaction and your emotion? Can we move with strategy and not with emotion? Can we see this as what it is and then still choose to go a different direction, or to stay and observe, or simply say, okay, this is one battle in the war?
absolutely. I have heard of different people knowing of other people who have taken their lives in this time. And that's so sad to me,
Mhm.
because they can't see or couldn't see the 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 sun coming out past whatever experiences they were going through.
Right.
And I think that's sad. I like talking like this because I want to remind my listeners that it doesn't matter. Nothing lasts forever, right? No
Right.
good times, no bad times, no times.
Right. Right.
Nothing lasts forever. And so we go through cycles. And
Mm-hmm.
so even if you're in a bad time right now, just know it's temporary. It
Right.
will change. It
Right.
will change. Now I
Right.
can't say when, you know.
Right.
It
Right.
may be it may be days, hours, months, or years. I don't know when, but I do know it will change because nothing in this life is consistent but change.
Absolutely. And last night we were talking about change management and some of the core foundations, and that fourth thing was who's in your corner, who's
Mhm.
supporting you.
Right.
Um, and in the prompt in their workbook, they were asked to write down, well, what is this person's position in your life? So this is applicable personally and professionally. In my work, I like to work in quarters, right? Because it just
I
makes
love
sense.
that.
The
Yeah,
pro-
it does.
the project manager and the change manager in me,
That right
like,
there, that right there. That's that PMP getting at
right,
you. I get it. I'm a PMP too. We have
has
similarities.
right, right. But if we apply those same perspectives to life and to what we're going through, it brings down the pressure of I got to be here in 12 months. I got to be here in 3 years. I got to be here in 4 years.
Mm,
And, we know that we get our daily bread day by day, right? It's
absolutely.
today. So,
Today.
today,
Absolutely.
what can we look at today? But if we think about who is it that we need in our corner, one of my very best friends through my undergraduate career and into my adult years, my young adult years, eventually said, "Hey, you want to consider having a personal board of directors?" And so, there was a mentor, there was a financial advisor, a spiritual advisor. I don't remember the other two, but she said, as you're going out and you're venturing out into life,
Mm,
consider having these people that
absolutely.
you can check in with and
Yeah.
see, like, am I on the right path, or what do you think, and what did you do, and how was this experience for you? It's the same in business, right?
It's the same in life.
It's the same in life. It's the same in life. So when we have these tumultuous times, and we have things that are in our heads, and if we can get it out and bounce it off of a sounding board, talk with someone about it, that person, if they've experienced something similar, then they can be there to walk with you through it.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what I do at Felicia Ford Co. We walk with businesses through their seasons of change.
Mm.
And, this is why I need an application from someone to work with me, because I need to know what I'm getting into, Linda.
I understand it. I
Okay.
understand.
I need to
I
understand,
understand.
because we're walking pretty closely and I'm going to take on some of your burden. And, that is my gift to the world. That is my, I love the work that I get to do. But, you bringing up some people who do choose that route when they're facing some of the toughest times of their
Mm,
lives, um, you know, for various reasons, they may arrive to that conclusion.
yeah,
But my hope too, if need be, that someone just reach out. And if you
absolutely.
reach out to someone who doesn't have the answer, call somebody else.
Absolutely. I love what you said about the 30-day, I mean, the 90-day, the quarters, because I am an advocate of Stephen Covey
Hmm.
and the 7 habits. And in one of them is begin with the end in mind.
That's
It's
it.
my favorite one. And so when I'm doing the 90 days of strategic planning, I'm doing them in increments of 90 days, right?
That's
So
it.
I have 2 to 3 goals to set. What will I look like in 3 months from now? And then what do I need to do in 60 days from now to make
Hmm.
sure I look like what I need to look like in 90 days from now? And then what do I need to look like at 30 days from now so
Right.
that so that I can meet my 60-day goal, which pours into my 90-day goal? And then what do I need to do next week?
Right. Right.
in
Right.
order to get to my 30-day goal. How do I need to work that out? And I think for me, that has been a lifesaver in that it keeps me focused and it,
Mm-hmm.
it helps me to compartmentalize.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I have some type of attention disorder going on. My post COVID experience has all kind of new diagnoses that go with them, but it is during these times that I find it very hard to struggle, and a lot of it is not from outside noise. Sometimes it's from the inside noise,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
And so trying to get through all the different things and stay focused, the quarterly thing has helped me tremendously.
I can't operate any other way, Linda. I used to have sticky notes all over my desk and I stopped buying them. I still have a stack that I've had for quite a while, of ones that I have yet to write on. But
Look,
yeah,
I told you
I'm,
we are kindred souls here.
I'm looking at this stack right here, right? I mean, it's blank, but
Yeah,
I stopped
mine are
making a
too.
list. Right, like, I stopped putting things on the list because it'd be never ending. I live by my calendar and my planner, but it just became unrealistic, to put things down on the list, and I just have conditioned myself
Yeah,
to know this is the one task I need to get done today, or
absolutely.
the 2 tasks I
And
need to
I
get done today.
tag. So these have moved from being a list of to do things to tagging. So I have a composition book here, and
Mhm.
I use this as tags of different topics.
Mm,
So if I want to refer back as
right.
I go through this journey, I
Yeah,
can easily find what I'm looking for.
great
But
idea.
I no longer write,
No.
that this is going to be whatever it is. I no longer do that. I do make note from now
Mhm.
every now and then until I can get it to the composition book.
Right.
But the composition book is the jewel. That's what
Yes.
everything lies.
Yes, same. I believe in writing things down.
Yeah.
Um, I I have several notebooks
Yes,
and
ma'am. I got four right here.
right, one is for day to day, one is for ideas. You were saying sometimes the noise is internal.
Yeah,
So if I know that we are supposed to be focusing on National Black Girl Month right now, and I have an idea for something else, then it needs to go in the idea notebook to look at
absolutely.
in the summer
Absolutely.
and not right
Absolutely.
now.
And so I buy one of these every year,
Mhm,
and I get the five compositions in
mhm,
one.
mhm,
So and I don't have, so all of them in this year are in this folder.
mhm.
But I've not changed to 2025 because I'm still finishing up a few things in 2024.
Yeah.
But every year I just get one and I started anew, and I tag it with all the things and bring all the things over that need to come over. But then I work in that one notebook the entire
Mhm.
year.
Yes. That similar. Yes.
So,
Similar.
managing my changes. Right?
That's right. That is right. And I do use, Asana, right, for
Okay.
managing my projects, but, because that helps my team, and I've tried different productivity tools, Trello, Asana, Monday.com,
Monday,
um,
yeah. I've done
and
Monday. I haven't done Trello yet, though I've heard of it though. I've done
for
Slack.
right. Yeah, we've had all the things. We've even just simply tried doing things in Google Docs, but it helps people. Asana is very simple.
Okay.
You have your list, you assign the task, you give them a due date. It will remind them and it functions like your own admin assistant. I
Oh,
absolutely love
okay.
it.
You'll have to send me your link.
I don't even know if I have an affiliate link, but I will check.
Yeah, check on that
I will.
so
But
I can
yes,
sample it out. I have other people that may need it too, who have
absolutely.
teams and need some kind of order.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it is perfect for me and my team and what we do.
Mhm.
But I sometimes I say to people that I plan 12 to 18 months in advance. And I remember scheduling board meetings in October for 2025. And one of my board members was like, Felicia, I don't know when I'm going on vacation. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a meeting
Oh,
in July.
that's so sad.
And I was like, it's okay, but I have people and projects that are relying on me. So I have to do that for myself. And I've been doing that for a couple years, but it works for me to understand how I'm going to delegate my energy,
Yeah.
and then how I'm going to manage my time.
Absolutely. Because I like investing time, right? I'm not going to spend time. I invest my time. And
Mhm.
so therefore I am thoughtful about the things I do. I don't go to everything or be in everything. I get so many invitations to do different things and to sell stuff, Lord. Being a business, you already know. People always, sell this widget. Can you help me with this, that, and the other? And so, as regretful as I have to be, I have to tell them I can't do all the things. Like at this time, I'm 12. March 4th will be my 12th year.
Mm,
12 years of growing businesses.
amazing.
A lot of businesses like Miss Linda, come stay with me, and you can be on my team. And I'm thinking, I'm
Right,
not trying to get on a team. I have a team. I'm on
right,
a team.
right, right,
but
right.
but that's part of the thing. Like all, a lot of things going on, which is good for them.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
am so happy that I get to see my businesses, and I'm prayerful that in a few days one of mine will get the 6-figure funding that he needs to do something
Ooh,
remarkable. So yeah,
exciting.
so I'm excited for them. But I love doing that. That's
Yeah.
the whole business plug thing. You'll see that the light bulb is on. It has things coming from it because I love when the light bulb comes on and my businesses get it. So
Mhm,
watching this about change management, if you were going to give 3 tips or 3 things that my business owners could use, just like you did wonderfully last night, ma'am, by the way. But if you could give my audience 3 things related to change management that they can immediately put in play, what 3 things would that be?
Well, if they are an experienced business owner, they have some expertise already and experience in navigating change.
Mm-hmm.
But the number one thing that I see is that people wait too long to bring in someone else to help
Mm,
them. And so I would say assess your problem early and immediately reach out and ask for help. Even if you're not, hiring a consultant or hiring a company like mine or um, bringing on a contractor, you can at least reach out to someone else who maybe has gone through a similar change. It can be another business owner, and it doesn't have to be someone in the same field, but you really want to build a community of people that you can ask questions with and of. That would be number one. Number two, if it's a big change that requires your culture to adapt and adjust, then you really want to focus on taking care of your people. I've seen it time and time again where changes are happening and business owners, leaders don't want to communicate to the rest of the team about what's
mm,
happening. That breaks trust, and we can only move at the speed of trust. And so you want to establish a communication plan where you are prioritizing speaking directly to your people, not going around them. If it needs to be a memo, send a memo that says, we're going to have a town hall meeting where everyone gathers together and we address what has happened, what we're doing about it, and what we're looking forward to in the future. Those are two. You said three,
love
right?
it. Uh-huh.
Okay. And then number three, I would say don't leave people hanging. It still goes back to the communication because we have to remember that we're in relationship with people. Your relationship with your customers, your relationship with your leadership team, your relationship with the rest of the people who are carrying out things for you in your business. Whether you need a PR consultant, a communications director, you can contract out for someone to sit and create this communication plan with you. But it all boils down to maintaining the relationships of the
Mm,
people who are relying on you and those who you are relying on, because the last thing you want to do is have a crisis management plan in place because you didn't handle the change the way that it could have been handled.
Absolutely.
But those three things are, I would say, the top three things that I would say um,
Absolutely.
for navigating change.
I love that. I love that. And if they're not, if because I deal with a lot of startups and I get startups, majority of them say, I just don't have the funding. I'm bootstrapping and trying to get
Mhm.
everything done. How do I deal with this? Go to SBA.gov and find out where your local.
Or mentor.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Go to SBDC. They have small business development centers all over the country whose
Yes.
jobs are literally to help you in your business. And
Yes.
so go to sba.gov and go where it says find local help and put
Right.
your zip code in and find out where the nearest agency is. Their services are free. You pay them when you pay your taxes.
Right.
Most underused service in the world. Shout
Agreed.
out to Ian Chestnut here in Chattanooga. We have a great working relationship, and I insist all my clients, all my students go to them. Go
Absolutely.
and get the free resources, right? Score. You mentioned score.org.
Hmm.
Like, no matter where you are in the United States, you have free access to a mentor. So
Right.
go and talk to a mentor. What I tell my students to do and my clients is to find one that's in your industry. So if I'm going to do fashion, I'm going to look in California and New York.
Hmm.
If I'm going to do food, I may go to Chicago or
Hmm.
New Orleans.
Hmm.
It's been if I like it spicy, if I like it. Yeah, but all over this country, we have pockets. Like in last night's class, I was telling them about North Carolina for furniture, right?
Hmm.
Yesterday morning class, I have a morning class and an evening class, and some days they roll together, but on Saturdays. But I was telling one of my business owners about North Carolina. Like, if I'm going to do home goods and home furnishings, I'm going to look in North Carolina and see somebody out there because that's where the industry's hot.
Right.
Like, teaching them to learn about their industries and
Hmm.
where their industries are prominent in the United States, and then finding a mentor there.
Right. That's a great
It's
idea.
going to give them it's going to give them a whole different experience, and it's going to give them the opportunity to bring something into their region that they may not have.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Agreed.
absolutely.
Wholeheartedly.
So if you don't have money, SBDC, your local SBDC through
Yeah,
sba.gov, score mentorship is phenomenal.
it is. I've
And
had
book,
a great score mentor. We were together for over a year, and
ah,
he was such a great help.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and those are resources people don't use that they
Hmm.
should if
Hmm.
they're in business. Like that, those people's businesses, their companies are geared around helping entrepreneurs make it through whatever,
Right.
to get better understanding and perform well.
Right.
And so now, what is one thing you want whoever's watching this interview to pull from it?
To pull from today, I would say, as a new business owner, you're going to be entering into quite a few different spaces and places and be expected to know a lot of different things. And to be the best business owner you can be, you really want to start with self. I go back to self-awareness. So there's a resource on the Tony Robbins website, the disc profile, which tells you how you interact and how you lead. But there's also 16personalities.com, which is a Myers-Briggs type thing. Some
Mhm.
people, they're theoretical, but these are tools that can really tell you more about yourself and how you're going to react to situations,
Mm,
and really looking at your personality type and your communication
mm,
style and your conflict style. And so the one thing I would want them to take away from this is learning more about yourself, healing things that need to be healed,
mm,
addressing what needs to be addressed as far as your ability to commit to things, not giving up on yourself, and really just focusing on, I know it said a lot, Linda, but your why. Why are
yeah,
you doing this?
but it's
What
always but you still need to go to it, right?
right.
because that's everything.
Right.
And so
Right.
yes, it is sometimes may feel overused, but it's important to have.
It is so important because things are going to get hard. Now I've heard one business coach say that she's never had a hard time in her business, and I'm like, great for you, ma'am, but that has not been my experience.
Baby.
Um,
Mine either.
that is not my testimony. I'm glad
No,
that it is
that's not a part of
yours.
mine. I don't see saying that for no, not
You
true.
know, and it all boils back to how are you going to navigate the change? How are you going to navigate the conflict? How are you going to navigate even the celebrations? You want to celebrate every milestone, and that
Absolutely.
all boils back to you knowing you. And you might think you know you, but growing in your business, you can't grow your business without growing yourself.
Absolutely. I love that because that's what happens a lot of times. We want to remain the same, do the same things we did as an employee
Yeah,
as an employer,
right.
and they're two totally different mindsets.
Two completely different mindsets.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you for
welcome.
coming on. I do appreciate you. And as I close this out, you can catch the Business Plugs Mixer here most Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And each week we bring on a spectacular guest like we have today to talk about business subjects to help business people. So until next Sunday at 7 o'clock p.m., I am going to wish you all to have a great week. And we'll see you next Sunday at 7 o'clock p.m. Good night.
Bye.